Hey, everybody, another edition of Off the Top Rope here on the Off the Mic Sports Network. Um, I know it may not be, the more comfortable thing to talk about here, but it seems like a lot of people are already starting to, place predictions on where some of the released WWE talent might go. But here's one thing, and a lot of people aren't going to like where I'm going to go with this, but I don't really care. Um, if you're a woman, if you are a woman that was a member of the released talent, if you're a member of the women that was released from WWE on Friday, where do you want to go? Because I'm here to tell you, if you're a woman working in this industry right now, the last place you want to go to is AEW, unless you want to get paid, and more power to you if you want to get paid. Sure. But if you look, and I've talked about this, I talked about this earlier this week, that women's division is buried. They're going to sign you to feed you to Mercedes Moné, or they're going to sign you to feed you to Tony Storm. Now, in saying that, I do think there's a couple of cases that I think maybe could be groomed as a future face of that division and potentially, be in position to, walk in and, take a spot and potentially get pushed. To me, it's the three high-profile women that were released. If they can stay healthy, that's Cora Jade, who's now known by her indie name, Elena Black. It's Gigi Dolan. Her real name's Priscilla Kelly, and and then Dakota Kai, obviously. And I think Dakota Kai, if given an opportunity and gets invested in, and isn't deemed as just like a person just to be there, I think she could do really, really well. That being said, if you are a talent, I really think that TNA needs to be more of a consideration, and especially considering a lot of these WWE talents, specifically NXT, like Cora went over there, Gigi went over there, and let's be real here. I think there's a realistic possibility that Gigi Dolan goes to TNA because her fiance Zachary Wentz is there. Um, so there's a realistic possibility that that ends up happening. Also, like Darby Allin's her ex, and I think that I heard that relationship that relationship did not end very well. They were married, and I heard that relationship did not end very well. So there's another couple of reasons right there. Cora Jade, I don't know. It's like again when we talk about those releases, it's really unfortunate. Shotzi's another one that she just ended her contract, but again, if you're looking to be pushed and you're looking to, you know, have an opportunity, I'm not sure that AEW, specifically for the women, is going to be the place for you. And I know a lot of people are just going to place that over there, but it's just like, you guys, if you watch that product, how many women outside of the obvious people have gotten over there in the last handful of years? Like Statlander got over there, but they beat her. Jamie Hayter, it's taken her 2 years to get back to where she was when she was injured. So, like, and Mariah May had her push, had her title run, and now she's leaving. And that happened in all the span of 2 years. So, if you want to go get paid, great. Like, I think AEW might be the place for you. I just don't know if it's the best wrestling decision for you if you're going to go to AEW. But that being said, there is potentially some opportunity there to at least get some exposure and potentially go there. But I don't know how far the ceiling is for anybody to go there. And you know what Tony Khan does, especially with these releases. He just goes shopping, and he signs the next release. Like Bobby Lashley, when he came out of his contract, he was immediately signed. The whole Hurt Syndicate came over. The second Mercedes Moné was available, he went to sign her. It took a while for that to happen because she went to New Japan. She got injured, and then the whole process started. Like Tony Storm was a release in 21, comes in 2022. It's just like, this is the way the cycle works. But I would be, before we start to anoint a situation and just try to think that, hey, okay, because here's the other thing. Yes, TNA may not be able to pay as much, but I'm looking at their women's division. Like, there's not a whole lot there. There really isn't. Like, if you're a Jakara Jackson, especially considering you already were just there in TNA, I think TNA is a great spot for a Jakara Jackson. who still needs a little bit of molding into being the next star. Like I look at some like I'm not going to compare her completely to Naomi, but Naomi like had an opportunity to go anywhere in the world after she was let go. Um After the whole situation turned out with her and Sasha Banks, Mercedes, when they walked out of the company 3 years ago. Um, and Naomi went there as Trinity, as a real name, and made a name for herself. And now she's back at WWE. Who's to say that that can't happen for any of these people? And especially with the working relationship with TNA and WWE, there's more of an opportunity for you to go showcase your stuff in TNA. And then WWE, a lot of people say, oh, they'll vulture in and they'll just sign these people. And, that's kind of the nature of what it is. But, hey, it's helping TNA get more exposure. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see where some of these people end up because especially the NXT people, Dakota Kai, from the looks of it, since she was released in the nature that she was, her clock is going to be 90 days because she was a main roster talent. But if you're looking at Gigi Dolan, if you're looking at Cora Jade, if you're looking at Jakara Jackson, they only have a 30-day. They only have a 30-day because they're NXT. So that's interesting too. And it's going to be a really fascinating watch to see where all these people end up. Again, I wish them all well. I'm just, from my perspective, if you're a free agent, especially if you're a woman, I don't know if the best wrestling decision is for you to go to AEW, considering I've been very critical of the women's division. It's basically been built around two people the last 2 years. And look at it now. They're heading towards a potential main event or high level match between two of their talents who are both holding championships. That doesn't do anything. Like the rest of the division's been left in the dust. So I just don't know how that benefits anybody. But hey, if you want to go get paid, more power to you. Go get the bag, go get all the money, and like sometimes for people, money is happiness, and like more power to you for that. But just from a wrestling perspective, I just don't see it. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.